You come on in, bud.
Place over here.
Good morning, team. How's everybody's weekend? Everybody feel good about? I mean, I know Matthew and Cody went and did, what y'all do, about 3 hours apiece? Everybody feel good and rested? That's good news. So I do believe, as far as the weather's looking this week, and us starting the week with full teams of maintenance, I do believe we won't have a problem as far as having this weekend off as well. So let's, everybody that has somebody new on their truck, just we still haven't developed the new assessment, but the old one will work pretty well because all we're really focusing on is if the trainee can proficiently use a line trimmer, if they can edge, and then hand pull weeds, right, Jeremy?
Blow, but yeah.
Blow, okay. So that's all we're really trying to assess, and I'll finalize that this week, so we'll actually have a complete sheet that explains the 10 skills to the new trainee, what we're looking for as far as if they are gonna have the skills that'll allow them to be a part of the team. Then it will have the actual in order, like we start with line trimming, super important. And in order for the new team member to progress, throughout the 10-day cycle, in order for them to get through, they have to be signed off on each, block of skills. So it'd be like line trimming, edging, and blowing, and then you'll progress down to pushing the lawnmower, using the hedge trimmer, that kind of thing, all the way down to riding the mower and driving the truck and trailer. So what our goal is to make this assessment process complete, but also get it condensed to where we can assess new trainees in a 10-day period and it doesn't waste a whole lot of time. So I did want to spend a little bit of time this morning just asking the team, and everybody here has different levels of experience with it. So if you are a new team member, we can get your input on some of these things as well. It might help out. But for those of y'all that have had, new team members and the training process, just wanted to get y'all's involvement and to kind of just talk about it a little bit. So, number one, why is training important? Anybody want to shot at that?
Surprise made perfect. Training. For you to learn, you keep trying, whatever, keep doing it, and keep perfect it in one way, I guess.
Gotcha. As far as like for the importance of the company, of why we need to have a training process and why we have to onboard new team members.
I would say because we differ from the regular or average landscape company. We focus more on detail in some companies.
Okay, you're saying like the need for training is more important because of the way we do things?
Yeah, they might not be accustomed.
Yeah, that's 100% true. So that's part of the training process, is getting
Definitely the way we pay.
the way we pay is super important. It can be explained mathematically. It's pretty simple, but there's certain things that in behavior that people may not get right off the bat, and our experienced team members will help to emphasize how important hustle is. And hustle in the aspect of doing the best you can with the speed that you can comfortably, produce a quality product. And that's from getting out of the truck, not being on your phone, and that comes from our experienced team members that know, hey, every single week, every yard I'm on, I've got the ability to increase my paycheck by the hustle I do. And that's a new thing for sure. But what I was getting at more along the lines of why the training is important on a bigger, like a high level view, is it's the only way that we'll grow and reach our multiple locations. Because if we can't get a location filled up with labor and we're kind of bogged down, thinking about opening up another one will be secondary, because we got to get the machine running smooth before we can open up extensions of the machine. Like for instance, we've already got Richmond County, Columbia County, North Augusta properties, right? So the whole separation of those, it's not really a huge ordeal. It requires a little bit of logistics and having general managers in place. But, you know, for instance, that first, even going to Aiken, which isn't far, but we don't have any properties there, so it's starting from scratch. Going there is going to require, you know, more of my time, more of, you know, even it'll affect Jeremy's job and things like that. So before we go out there, we need to have that training module up and running and efficient for that kind of growth. Because if you know, labor is the #1 ingredient in this cake we're baking here. Because without it, you know, people will be standing around with line trimmers and not doing anything. So that's why we do it, for growth. So it's super important for us. It's going to be a model that we have. It's not going to be perfect, but it's something that we've got to use, and we got to use to the best of its ability. So it also, if we can't grow outside of, you know, where we're at now, opportunities for everybody in the room, you know, kind of are at a standstill, because people that want to be operators, you know, if we can't open up new locations, we can't have operators. You know, people that want to open up and be a spray technician, you know, that kind of halts as well, or an estimator or anything like that. So it puts the growth at a halt until we can get this situation and get the training done. So one of the big things I understand, it causes some friction as far as, you know, experienced team members, because it decreases the amount of production that can get done. Would y'all say that's the biggest friction?
For the most part.
Okay, cool. So the #1 thing is production, right? As far as, like, it hurts your paycheck. Is that what it is? Okay, so it decreases paycheck for experienced team members. And I get it. You know, us telling you how important it is, you know, the growth of the company depends on it, doesn't really do much for your pockets. I understand that. Even though, you know, one of the values that we have, the 5 values, is team over self. And that's you know, as far as trying that value out, as far as it being tested, that's one of the times where, you know, I don't know if it helps or not, but if you look at it as a value of how we're all trying to operate, that is one that you're exercising team over self. Because you're saying, okay, for the growth of this team, I'm going to give it my all to try to train this person up, or try to assess them day 1, whether or not they're gonna, you know, get to day 2, you know, to begin with. So that's a test. But we can all talk about, you know, what can we do to help the process? You know, as far as like the pain points, you know, which is #1 is the aggravation it causes when you're trying to make production and you've got someone that is halting production. So does anybody have any sort of ideas, or just want to talk some things out as far as what we can put on the board, as far as what we can do to help?
I would say maybe, if at all possible, try to get the new people to come in like a day early and try to train them like after work or something like that, or put them to the test to see if it's really worth it.
Gotcha. How would that roll out? What would that look like?
That would probably look like if they start on like a Tuesday or any other day during the week, just bring them in the following day before, and I guess like maybe for an hour or so at a certain time, you know, just designate that slot to try to assess them here at the shop to see if, you know, if it's working.
Who would be doing that?
I don't know if we have anybody that, you know.
That'd be me if I'm able to stay here.
There he is.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for definitely input. It definitely helps put it on the board. So in a perfect scenario, you know, training would have a dedicated training program, and, you know, they would have somebody that actually trains. That's what they do. You know, they go through to the trainer for the first 2-3 weeks, whatever it takes, and then we could spit them out, you know, to production. But this is kind of like a scenario of, and you face this throughout your entire life, you know. For instance, if you're trying to find housing and you had an unlimited budget, it probably wouldn't be a big deal right now, right? If you're trying to live in Evans and you're trying to live there for $800 a month, that's a pretty big hurdle. You gotta get creative. So that's kind of like the situation we're in. Like, we've got training, we've got, you know, no budget for it. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like the initial 2 to 3 days that we're trying to see if they can even line trim, edge and blow, like run them hourly.
Gotcha.
You know? And I know we pride off of the big paychecks and shit, but if you're not gonna make it past the 3 days, why should you make my paycheck go down $200-300? When you're not even, you know, and the only reason I say that is because Brandon busted. When I was working with him, my check decreased almost $300 working with him.
Mhm.
And he knew how to fucking weed. He just didn't know how to move. And
Yeah.
it just makes more sense to me. If you make it past the initial 2 to 3 days of hourly pay and you're doing a good job, you know, then we can set in the actual money that you'll be making. But
Yeah, I
just
gotcha. All right, so-
That still affects your bottom line though, right?
It affects the company's bottom line,
Yeah.
because it comes out as a cost.
So Gabe's saying, all right, I got this down here, so.
I'm
we'll
just
get
throwing it
that
out
here.
there.
Yeah, we're
we want
talking.
to put everything on a board.
Yeah.
So what is fair compensation, new team member and training team member? So you're saying, $15 per hour, and then during the training process, then all production dollars go to the training team member.
Because then you wouldn't even have to worry about.
But if you're getting 14 done, I don't think giving someone 14 budgeted hours.
Yeah, we're just putting it on the board. So, alright, I got you. And so we've got a couple new team members in here, right? Some of them probably didn't even know about pay for performance, but as far as whenever, you know, most of y'all met with me. I believe everybody in the room met with me first. And when I explained the job and how to get paid, what was some of y'all's, you know, as far as takeaways from that? What got y'all excited about the job?
Got jobs.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. So like, coming in, if we said, okay, there's for 2 weeks, pay for performance is off the table for you. We're gonna pay you $15 an hour for the training process, and we're gonna assess you, and then if you make it through it, then you get put into the regular pay for performance. How would y'all feel? What would that do as far as incentive and things like that?
Honestly, we didn't know at first that we could be paid like in the way that, you know, the percentage rate, like ratio type thing, then it wouldn't affect anyway. But from the idea of like, honestly, it really wouldn't affect, because if it's only 3 days of this training course and the per hour deal, you know, it'll still technically be the same thing.
Yeah,
Which is gonna be a positive, because even most landscape companies probably not starting their guys off.
Yeah, that one thing too. A lot of them even start out at 15 hours, so either way.
Gotcha.
And then it'll be a boost as well, because it gives the trainee something to look forward to. Oh, I can make it through these 3 days, then I can start to make real money.
Right.
It gives them an incentive to work harder to
Right.
make it so they want to be here. So they're not getting
Gotcha.
they're not getting pay performance off rip. It gives them something. It's a goal to work for.
Right.
Which is one of our values. Which is doing the right thing and trying
And
to
right off
be
the
the best
bat,
you can
new
be.
people don't produce like us, so it's like kind of not fair to pay them our production pay. You know, produce.
Let me do some math here.
I would say with a
You got
cap
a
of,
phone? Or, here, my phone.
I would say,
Alright,
I would,
somebody, give me a calculator real quick. We'll just give off the, so with a new team member, let's just say, what is this? I just can't do it.
That's a poor man's phone.
I don't even know if it calculates properly.
You want like an old school calculator or have them in the
Oh, we're
office?
good. No, that one doesn't do me right either. I can't do certain things with it. What would y'all say is average? You get a new team member. I know it's a big range. You got people that can't even hold the weed eater sometimes to pretty good. Did you say 14?
14 what? I said at least 16.
16? What y'all getting?
I've
I'm
seen,
I'm talking with a new team member. You're saying
who
16?
doesn't know
Way
shit.
higher.
I've seen anywhere from as low as like 11 or 12 to maybe 17.
Okay.
But if they don't know what they're doing, there's no way you're doing 17.
Yeah, you're doing most of the work. Like
Yeah.
if you're pushing with them, like you're gonna make sure the yard's done, so you're doing all the
Oh,
work.
man.
Just
Get
like,
locked out, 2, 3, 3, 7.
You know.
But the goal is y'all don't need to do all the work because we're trying to get them to learn.
Yeah, but when you're,
So doing
when you're
that-
sharing P for P, you gotta make your money that day. Like, it's not balanced out yet. We need to balance it out.
I guess
That's the thing, like, we don't expect production to be where it would be, or even like almost where it would be if you were with another experienced team member. So we don't expect that at all.
Yeah.
Because you're training someone brand new, even if they knew how to do certain things, they're still gonna be, you need to talk with them, you need to do more walkthroughs. We know right off the rip, like, less production is gonna be expected. So what we're trying to come up with is, number one, forcing your hand to go through the procedure that when we make it, of like, okay, here's this assessment. So it already kind of forces you to converse with the person, to say, hey, this is what I'm assessing you on, this is what I'm seeing. Before we can move on to the next set of skills, I'm gonna have to sign off and say that you're proficient. So that's already kind of slowing down the pace, because, you know, like you said, I get it, I wanna get production done, I wanna make money, but and that's a good goal to have, but it's not the goal whenever we put you with a new team member. Just 100% isn't. It can't be.
Yeah, but it's always just me. So, I mean, I can't really,
What do you mean?
I'm always the one with the new guy, so I mean,
You're the most experienced team member.
yeah, I know. But-
Cody's got new guys.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
Gabe's
just
had new
saying,
guys.
like, for at least like 3-4 months.
He's had a new guy.
I'm a good partner.
So technically for 3-4 months.
They'll get the best.
You've been expecting me not to make it the P for B? Like, what, the max I can?
3 or 4 months.
I mean, I'm just saying I've been with new guys.
You can look at the thing, and 3 or 4 months, you have not predominantly been with people.
I've had the most new guys.
I think-
Every time I get the new
Well,
guy first.
it comes at a cost, and what you're gaining is the chance to run your own location.
Yeah, I'm not bitching. I mean, y'all are acting like I'm bitching. I'm just saying that we don't have it figured out.
This one ain't going on YouTube.
So is the main issue you trying to make your money based on your normal production, or
That's
is
what I'm
it
saying,
just trying to actually meet the production that they want you to, or I guess from a normal standard of trying to make sure we stay on schedule and things
I mean,
like that, or is
the
it you
pace
trying to
is
make your
not
money?
consistent is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I
If
think
you're putting me with a new guy,
and just slow down your production every time.
Not every time, because I'm on
I'm good.
I think when we have new guys and experienced team member, I think we should already kind of know that our production is going to be slower that day, or however long it may be. And I think that instead of bombarding them with 17 yards, you give them
14.
Yeah, something
Right.
like that.
And then
So
if
that
they
way
want
it's-
more than.
Yeah, and then you pay them the 15.
Alright, cool, let's get back to the math, that's what I wanted to show you. Alright, we'll say 14 BHs, right? Alright, so 14 budgeted hours. So that's how, you know, everybody's list has that, it's how we decide how much money, it's how we know how much money to pay y'all. So, you've got, you got 14 budgeted hours, multiply that, by 23.76, which is 33% of 72. Come out with this is what the 33% of our of what y'all's revenue would be. And so in 14 budgeted hours, that's 7 apiece, right? Let's just say that takes y'all 10 hours, okay? With somebody new, run a little slow. Let's say that takes y'all 10 actual hours. Okay, so that means that the new team member made $150 that day on top of the $332.64. So that, you know, what we would typically pay is $332.64, right? So in this model, what it would require is the company to pay an additional $150 a day of training. So what we offer at the moment is $4 per budgeted hour, right? So what we would typically have to pay is $56. So in this example, the company would have to eat about an additional $100 a day, or you know, $1,000 during the 2-week training process, which
And this whole idea of the $15 an hour, is this for 3 days or how would
No,
that
this
go
would
about?
be, the process would be 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 weeks is whether, we could figure out if the new team member is gonna be able to make it, or if not,
Right.
So, I would say, number one, I don't think the company can take that kind of a hit. 'Cause it's basically, what we were paying before is an additional $4 per budgeted hour of, so if y'all had 14 budgeted hours, extra $56 that day would have went to the trainer. But y'all would have split pay for performance.
Okay.
So in this model, about $100 extra a day, for the training process. I don't believe,
They don't.
So I guess in this particular model, since the 332.64 is supposed to be split between two,
Yeah.
all that would just go towards the one person.
I think
I guess
that's
the
what
trainer.
I would cap that at 10 or 12.
It wouldn't even, honestly, from looking at it from this point of view, it really wouldn't make sense, because if they already getting $56 for the training in one swift motion, then
Yeah,
for them
oh,
to
yeah.
take the whole bunch, it wouldn't make us technically a team. Because if we're working to get on this company, and I think we should be treated just like anybody else. That's like saying, oh, you're coming on, you've been here for this many times, we're not gonna give you benefits or so, like,
I mean, that's how companies work though.
Yeah,
They benefits to 6 months.
Right, that's 6 months. I'm just saying to it like.
I feel what you're saying, right?
Well-
Like, oh, you can't drink the water out of the cooler.
it'd still be $166.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Plus-
it's just when you're coming
56.
from working with someone experienced, or like I've been doing working by yourself, you're not making less than $220 a day, and that's on a slow day, you know?
Right.
So it's just, I mean, and if we were to give the new guys $15 an hour for training process, obviously we wouldn't need the extra $4 on the budgeted hours, for sure.
No, I know that. I'm
But
giving
it
y'all the
makes-
example. We definitely wouldn't get the additional
Yeah,
4.
yeah.
But you would be making, in this example, the company would be paying
Out their pocket.
An additional $100 a day.
To whoever the rookie is.
on top, so that'd be $1,000 per person that goes through the 10-day process.
Yeah,
Half of them
that's
don't
too
even
much.
make it through 10 days though. Half of them.
Yeah, I
don't.
know, but you have to go through so many to get one,
Right.
so
So the company will be taking a loss that many
a
more
large
times.
loss. In this example with the 14 BHs, even if y'all took 10 hours to do it with another person, the trainer would get $166 by the performance, and then an extra $56 on top of it. So they'd be getting,
They're paying for the training, honestly.
yeah, 210, 200, $222.
So, I guess just, can I ask, so if that's being split, the 332.64, if that's technically being split for one person, where does the other half go? If we're doing the 15 per hour, and they're
No,
only
no.
getting half.
No, so I was saying, this is how it typically would run.
Okay.
The team had their share of 332.
Mhm.
That's how we do it now.
Right.
Is they split pay for performance just like normal, and then the trainer would get
An additional.
$56.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, they're still making 222
But
in
the
that
So-
example.
The idea of it, they were trying to make it seem as if it's gonna be the trainer would get the whole base, the pay per hour thing, and then the rookie would get the 15 an hour.
Right.
That's what the idea would have been.
Right.
the new idea, yeah.
And I'm not trying to beat the horse here, but, so if the 332.64 is normally split, and then goes that way or whatever, if you do it, so if we are splitting it to where we have the 15 an hour, and then you have your normal base pay, instead of giving obviously one person 332, if that still got split, couldn't a portion of that get paid towards the 10 an hour or the 15 an hour
That's what
part,
I
instead of
thought.
the company eating every bit of that?
Oh, so you're saying like
What were you thinking?
the $16 left over from that being split in half will basically go back to him.
And I
Or
had,
go back to the company?
Right.
I've only ever given them their share of budgeted hours, so this is different than how they get paid. So I don't know if you want them getting paid, because technically, if they did 40 budgeted hours, it's really 80. So they've only been getting paid for 40, not 80. So that's kind of, it'd actually be $28, not 56. But if you would rather,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what happened, that's not what has been done.
Gotcha. I think that would be, what do y'all think? As far as
Because
like
that makes a
this
big,
scenario?
because that makes a big difference, cause I don't think Matthew would have an issue making 223 compared, like, cause what's 160
66.
plus 28?
Yeah, it's normally not that much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, cause I've only paid them for their budget hours, and I talked to you about it, but I don't think, we had
Gotcha.
talked about giving
If you're
them,
doing that many budgeted hours, you're doing that many budgeted hours.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha. Alright, so, question. Matthew, the 14 budget hours in this scenario, would this be more fair to you?
Yeah.
Would this make you feel okay with training somebody and taking a little bit more time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you, Gabe?
I don't know, the only reason
Yeah,
I was
understand
talking, cause I don't get trainer pay. I didn't with Brandon, I didn't get it with Sanchez for sure.
Cantrell.
Cantrell.
Oh.
2 days is still 2 days. But, no, but that's the only reason I was bringing it up, cause I do get hit with a new guy, but they've already gone through the training, so to speak, so.
Cantrell didn't go through any.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I know I didn't get the training.
Well, here's the other part of that, is you actually have to do the training. You know what I'm saying? Like, the communication, the stopping, the telling people they're not doing something correct, so like, in order to get the trainer pay, the full training needs to be done. And it's difficult.
Giving.
No, it's not giving, we're giving it in consideration that you're taking extra time
Yeah.
and doing extra work to
Right.
train somebody as well as working. That's why we're doing the trainer pay. It's not just saying, hey, here's $4 per budget hour because you have somebody on your truck. And then just go about the work however it gets done. The goal is, and it's difficult, man. You're basically telling somebody you're gonna judge them all day long. But if you go into it knowing that, it makes it easier. If both parties know, like, here's the sheet, here's what is expected of you, like a vocab list, here's what proper line trimming is, here's what good push mowing is, and it's got the verbiage there, and they come in day one. I think day one needs to be, and it sounds boring and mundane, most companies do it, they go through the list of skills that they're expected to do, and they give a very good description, they give them that sheet of paper, to go home with. They come back, they're expected to have read it, ready to work. That way when you're using terminology like, hey, you're burning out the edges when you line trim, or when you line trim, it's much lower than the finished mowing height, they'll know what they're talking, it's not new information.
Right.
So, but I think that might
Yeah.
might
I would-
solve the issue.
I would say let's do that. Give you $4 per budgeted hour for the total budgeted hours for the day, cause then that also gives the new guy,
He gets taste for P.
yeah, he gets paid for performance, so he should wanna work harder. Cause the hourly would make them, that would not be as motivating.
I think that's right.
Definitely right.
Cause they get an opportunity to make more money, from day one.
Even if they're not pushing out that much work, like,
Yeah,
if the mindset is, hey, we have to get this many jobs done to get paid, then they're gonna jump in and do it. If we say, hey, we get paid per hour, you gotta get to these jobs, type deal, it could be like a.
yeah, it's be kind of conflict.
Right.
Alright, cool. Does anybody wanna put some stuff out more on the table? Solve? This is how you solve problems, fellas. You communicate.
Gotta talk.
You do, man.
But
Like,
yeah,
if I don't,
basically-
I can think that I know what y'all want, but I could very well be wrong, especially when y'all have the ability to tell me I'm wrong. It makes it a whole lot easier, a whole lot
Yeah.
faster.
I know.
Basically, it's just your trainer pay just doubled, because I would only give you 7 times 4 on that
Yeah, I
example.
know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's picking up what we're putting down.
I've been understood.
So what if a person like is performing like really good, and like what if you just want to put them on performance earlier than?
They'll be on. They'll be
It's
on.
we'll have a process of like I was telling you, the 3 basic skills. You'll physically have to sign off to get to the next one. So like if the first day they are like blazing through, I'd still give them the second day of the same skills, because then you'll be more testing if their work ethic was the same as yesterday. Because some people come out blazing and then they're like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just why I threw it out there. I'll
Yeah,
see
but
what-
no, we'll still give them the full, because just like a property, you know, that you got an amount of time, right? Certain properties you can do more on than others to increase the level of beauty, right? Same thing with a person. Like some people come in and they've got a whole bunch of skills. Well, push them harder. Tell them like how, like Matthew can go out there by himself and hit 12 BHs, and you've done it too, but like in a good amount of time. So like, if a person comes in with more skills, just push them, you know, even further down the process, faster. So, can we consider this matter closed? Everybody's gonna be smiling and happy with their new team members today?
For sure.
Yeah? Alright, cool. If not, you have to wait till next year, because this case is closed.
But we're gonna do Cody and Katie, Bailey and Brandon. Do you want Rashad going with Gabe or with Matt?
What did you have,
Was Will, but
it was Will?
yeah,
Okay, who's Will going with now?
Matt. He was gonna go with Matt.
Who's he going with now?
No, Will.
I'm Rashad.
There's a shot.
Right. Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't see Will. Shit. All
Came
right.
in a little late.
Yeah. All right. Well, give
Come
me a
on, bro.
second. I'm gonna have to redo the schedule.
It's okay.
But you guys take everyone out there, get
Matthew's-
everyone on something. And
Is he on a pretty easy schedule?
Yeah. It's real
Okay.
easy.
Let's go ahead and send him with Rashad. And then also, guys, as I've explained, you know, from day one, when you're with your team, team leader, when you're with your experienced team member that's assessing you, at any point in the day, you know, if for instance, just give you an example, all you're doing is line trimming, edging, and blowing, or whatever else they tell you to do. That's the main three at first. If you're not following direction, or if you're on your phone, or, you know, if you've got an attitude at all, you know, they have the discretion at any point in the day to either drop y'all off at the shop and say, hey, appreciate your time, appreciate your effort, I don't think it's gonna be a good fit, and it ends the assessment. So just to let you know, and just give that, you know, reinforce that into our team members. And just remember also, new team members, it's something difficult for the trainers as well. It's a new process, they're getting used to it, but just if everybody communicates, asks questions, and, you know, tries together, I think everything's gonna be all right. So he's going with Rashad, Jeremy?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And then give me 1 second. Let me redo the schedule, and I'll come out there and let everyone know who they're going with.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I feel good about the team. Got a full boat. Let's have an early Friday. Yeah, I'll get you a shirt, bud. Hold on one second. Let me end this. That's the goal. Early Friday is the goal.
All right, we're gonna shoot for it.